Kari Lake, GOP Senate candidate in Arizona. Kari, I appreciate you coming in. This is like so crazy to me that this is their gotcha moment and they're hanging their hat on this.
Yeah, what he said was true. I mean, honestly, what I see we can coexist if we follow the Constitution. And when it comes to compromise, I mean, there are some things that you wonder why somebody would want to compromise. Why would somebody want to compromise on our national security? Why would they want to compromise if the compromise means, well, we got to leave the border open and accept 5 million people a year coming across illegally? I question the person who wants that compromise because I'll tell you what, Carl, I'm out all across Arizona and frankly across the country, and I've met Democrats and independents who say, shut down the border. Anybody who's come in here in this invasion, send them back to their homeland. We can't afford this. So I agree with Alito on this. Yeah. You know, but I do think we can coexist. I really do. But it's got to be with the United States Constitution fully intact and fully put forth as the document of our land. And we also have to look at people who want to compromise on things that nobody in their right mind should want to compromise on.
Well, that's the problem is like everything's, you know, the left keeps moving the bar. It's like, okay, let's compromise on this, and let's compromise on this. And then they compromise on the compromise, and you're compromising on the... And finally, you know, I'm sitting there thinking, like, shall not be infringed. Take the Second Amendment, for example. The Fourth Amendment, for example. Like, tell me where the Patriot Act is allowed under the Fourth Amendment.
And it's a slippery slope. When you start to slowly give your rights away, how do you get them back? You got to fight to get them back. I mean, you look at, you know, what we have to go through TSA at the airport. I'm watching as, you know, 90-year-old men and women are being patted down and everything's searched, and you think, how did we get this far? Why did we give up so many of our rights? Why have we just relinquished the Fourth Amendment? Why are we allowing ourselves to have our First Amendment? Right now, our First Amendment is under attack. We don't have the First Amendment in this country. And we're watching people being censored and muzzled. And so I think as long as we're upholding the Constitution, we say this is not, we cannot compromise on our First Amendment, our Second Amendment, Fourth, 10th, we're not compromising. Right. Then we can all get along. But the Constitution is the law of the land. And it seems that a big segment of our population has been brainwashed into believing that it's optional somehow. It's not optional.
I want to get to something. Katie Hobbs, obviously, your former friend, she has been appointing people, apparently, without the due process of it through the state legislature and things like. I mean, like, this is something, like, again, you can't have a system if the one side's not playing by the rules.
Yeah, I mean, well, she can't get these confirmations through because they're absolutely ridiculous. And the legislature in Arizona is going to say, we're going to put them through the ringer and make sure that they stack up. And so she decided to go around that. But this is so typical of how the Uniparty and the Democrats operate. When they don't want to push legislation that they can't get passed, they have the executive branch, I mean the EPA and all these three-letter agencies just stack up regulations that make our lives miserable. Regulations that put people out of businesses between grocers and ranchers and farmers and everyday people. The regulations are just so heavy right now. And let's face it, these people in the EPA and all of these different agencies, they are not elected officials. They don't have the right to write laws. And so we need to really bust this thing open and clean it out.
Well, I mean, and also in Arizona, you have, you know, BLM, Bureau of Land Management, not the Black Lives Matter. And these guys, they're the worst offenders of this. They are taking huge swaths of land and kicking people off of them, not letting people do, you know, access state and federal lands because of some stupid regulation in a leather book that they wrote down while they're in the bathroom.
And they expect everyone to know all of that. Every year, this, you know, you stack up the papers of all the regulations that are passed, and nobody can keep track of it. There's nobody who can be knowledgeable on every single regulation. In the past few weeks, I've been in front of and spoke to 3 ranchers. 2 of them were in tears saying, we can't handle these regulations. They're trying to force us to sell our family ranch that's been in our family for 5 generations. They're trying to make it so onerous that we just throw our hands up and say, I give. And this is where it's come to. And that's why we need people like me in the U.S. Senate who are going to push back against these bureaucrats who've never been elected and are trying to push this bureaucracy to destroy the American way of life.
Hell yeah, I'm down with that.
Thank you.
Kari Lake, appreciate you coming in. Best of luck in your race. We'll be staying in touch.